Welcome to the Color Whisperer Show. So I'm Jeanette Chasworth, and I am the Color Whisperer. And today we're going to do a lot of talking about color. But first, I want to talk about something that I had to look up because I was really curious. So it's July. Now, I have to admit, I'm a Hallmark Channel watcher because there's really very little drama in them. It's always a happy ending. And, at the end of a long day, it's just nice to watch something that's kind of predictable, makes you feel good. So it's just easy to watch. I don't want to watch all. I do love a great episode of NCIS or something like that, but sometimes it's just too much before bedtime. So anyway, it's Christmas in July if you've been watching the Hallmark Channel. And I was like, why Christmas in July? Where did this start? Because, in the stores, Christmas starts in September. I'm like, really? Can we not go? Like, it's been 6 months since Christmas. I'm like, we've got 2 more months before we start seeing it in the store. And not even. I'm like, are we really craving Christmas that much? I'm in LA here. It's 100 degrees outside. Let me tell you, the last thing I'm thinking about is Christmas. Now, we don't have snow on the ground ever, ever. We may get a little frost once in a while, but it's usually gone by like 10 o'clock in the morning. But I'm not craving Christmas. And so I was like, and it's not just the Hallmark Channel, it's other things as too. And so I thought, where did this come from? So I did a little Google search. And it actually started in the 1930s. And it was a girls' camp that started it because they wanted to do something fun at camp. And I bet Christmas gifts were involved. And there's singing and stuff like that. So maybe, they wanted a pageant or something. Who knows? Oh, let's do Christmas in July. And they actually celebrated it on July 25th. I wonder, because when you start getting into, like, when was Jesus really born? It wasn't December. And I'd have to go look that up. That's an interesting thought. They do have the actual date, and I don't think it was even December. But it worked with the holidays because they were combining pagan holidays and Christian holidays to make them blend together and be more acceptable. So they decided it was December. Anyway, so they came up with Christmas in July, and this took on. It took way on beyond this little camp. There's actually several movies done in the late 30s, early 40s about Christmas in July, celebrating it. So it was kind of a thing. And I don't remember it growing up. It's not something I ever heard about growing up. It wasn't until, the last few years on Hallmark Channel started doing it. And I'm like, okay, so what is this? So I'm curious, have you ever experienced Christmas in July? Have you ever heard of it before, like the last several years? If you grew up celebrating Christmas in July, I want to hear about it. So just message me in. And Mark, if you see anybody message in, please interrupt and tell me, because print's so small I can't read it. It gets infinitesimal on my screen for some reason, which I'm not a tech genius enough to figure out. So anyway, I'd love to hear your Christmas in July stories. And Mark was telling me the Bulls near him were doing a Christmas in July game, and there's some things. It is a great marketing gimmick. I'll give you that. And so if you're enjoying Christmas in July, if you just can't wait till December and you need this Christmas in July, I want to hear about it. So it's not what I want to think about when it's 100 degrees outside. And then it just, like, there's so much stress around Christmas too, right? You got to do the cards, you got to do the cookies, the candies, the presents, the decorating, like all this stuff. It's like, But on the other hand, what I do like about it is in the design world, now is when we got to start thinking about Christmas. So actually, August, September, October is when we get really busy because people are starting to think about Christmas. Oh, we're going to have the family over. Oh, we got to redo the dining room. Oh, we got to redo the kitchen. And it sounds like it's early, but it's not, especially if you're doing construction. It takes time. We got to come up with a plan. We got to get the contractor. We got to get in the contractor's schedule. He's got to do the work. Got to get that all scheduled in. Got to order stuff. Sometimes it takes a while to order stuff. It just depends on what you're going for. But I've had fabric back ordered for 6 weeks. I've had, you know, you might have a special vanity you want that takes 12 weeks to make. I had a client, we built this beautiful vanity. So gorgeous. Came out absolutely stunning. But they've got an 8 to 10 week lead time. Not uncommon if you're doing custom stuff. So now is a great time to start thinking about that home remodel. So that part, from a business standpoint, is kind of cool. I'm very happy that it's the 26th and I won't be seeing Christmas movies much longer. Anyway, so today we're going to have a little bit of fun with color. I have a friend that sent me this book, and it's Color Astrology, what your birthday color says about you. Now, I love, design, color. We're always trying to find some unique twist, some new thing to do with it. And I got to give them a lot of credit. This is genius. It's genius marketing. I'm not so sure I agree with their colors because we'll play with it. Okay. I'll read you mine and we'll go through a few other people's and we'll see what we got. But what I know about astrology, which I dabble, it's not an art that I do, but when you really get into astrology, what year you're born in makes a difference. When you do feng shui, what year you're born in makes a difference. So you've been to the Chinese food store and they tell you what animal you are. So I'm a monkey. And it goes by the date, the year date. But then there's another way it gets broken down. And I had somebody do this with me. I can't remember. But there's another part of it. It's not just the year you were born. And so it gets more detailed is my point. I had somebody come feng shui my house. And it was really interesting because she started with dates. But she's like, oh, wait. She was doing this whole thing. And then she's like, telling me these words that went with it. And I was like, well, yeah, that's sort of true, but not really. Then she goes, oh, wait. We got to look at this date a little bit more. And she tweaked it. And when she tweaked it, she was right on. She was right on with what I know as far as energy and color. And it was fascinating. We both came up with the same thing, just in a different way. So what I do is energy. It has more to do with your personal energy. And I don't do feng shui. I've dabbled in it. I say I'm enough to be dangerous and not enough to do any good. I just, I've done it. I haven't really seen my efforts in it create any huge results. Not that are visible to me anyway. Other people I know swear by it. So, you got to do what feels right for you. Not knocking it. It's not one of my skills. I have some really awesome feng shui people that I can recommend. If you want, I'm more than happy to recommend them. They are amazing. Hey, Mark.
Yeah, I had a quick question because you're talking about the years and everything, and I don't know that I knew this. and everything. But I was trying to remember because you said you were a monkey, and I just remembered, and I think I knew this, that I am a tiger. But apparently, I'm not just any tiger because apparently, according to Chinese astrology, they break it down. So if you're born between February 5th, 1962 to January 24th, 1963, which I was born in July, you're a water tiger. If I was born in the 70s, I would be a wood tiger. If I was born in the 80s, I
Yes,
would be a
that's
fire
what I was trying
tiger.
to remember. They
And if
bring the
I was
earth
born in the 90s,
element
I would
in.
be an earth tiger. So apparently, I'm a water tiger. I don't even know what a water tiger is, but apparently, I'm a water tiger.
Well, it means that you're using the water element, so the energy of water, which fits because you are a blue person. In my world, you're a blue person.
But
So that would totally fit. So I'm 1968. So what kind of monkey am I?
let's go find out because I didn't know that there were these different things. So let's go to 1968 and find out what kind of monkey you are. 'Cause I just found this out and it was like, wait a minute, there are different types. So I want to look up 1968 and see what kind of
So
monkey.
the
Oh,
water
apparently
sign.
you are in, and this actually fits for you because you said you're 1968. 1968 to 1969 is an earth monkey. If you had
Yeah,
been
makes
born in
sense.
the 80s, you'd be a metal monkey. If you'd been born in the 90s, you'd be a water monkey. If you'd born in the 2000s, you'd be a wood monkey. But you're an earth monkey.
No, I'm an earth girl. Look at what I wear. I'm an earth girl. Definitely. And you're a water guy. You go with the flow, you
Yep.
know, you're very friendly, you're very, and yeah, in my world you're a blue person, and 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 my theories, you're a blue person, and the earth is very stable. It's a place for growth, and that's what I do.
And that makes a lot of sense that you say that and everything. Because, like you said, now I'm just kind of curious and I'm going to check one other one. And that actually makes sense because I can see that. And you've never met this gentleman, but I just thought I'd check since he was born in October. But apparently, while I'm a tiger, my brother is a rooster because he was born, they literally the year after you in 1969. So he's an earth rooster. And the roosters are earth rooster, metal rooster, water rooster, and a wood rooster. And that whole thing about being a water tiger is actually interesting because if you follow regular astrology, as you know, because my birthday was only like about 3.5 weeks ago, that would make me a Cancer. So I'm apparently got water all over me
That's a
because
water
I'm
sign
one of the water
too.
signs. Exactly.
I think I'm a water sign. I'm a Scorpio. Isn't that a water sign?
That is a water sign. The water signs are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Because that younger brother that I was just talking about, he is a Scorpio. His birthday is actually end of October. So yeah, he is a Scorpio as well.
But I think that in astrology, I'm either earth or fire, and I forget which one. According to this is earth, so that I might be earth. But
Scorpio, yeah,
in five element, in the five elements, you didn't mention fire, so
they didn't give
uh,
you fire. The options are apparently in the heavenly brand.
yeah. So earth and fire are the same. So it's earth and wood. Um, yeah. So the different elements, the five elements. There's a five element version of what I do, and it's been a little while since I've looked at it because I have a friend that does the five element, and we talked about it. This is years ago, and we made the connections. And I remember that Earth and Fire were pretty close, and I don't remember which one I
I don't
am.
know. I don't know.
But
There's a lot of water around my family and everything. I don't know how mom would feel about this, but I just checked her out because she was born 20 years before I was, and apparently, Mommy Lee is a water horse because she's a water horse, and because she was born in that time of May of 42 and everything, and the options for the horses are water, wood, fire, and earth. So it sounds like they're all pretty much the same, except for maybe you switch out earth for metal or wood for metal or something. But yes, apparently Mama Lee is a water horse. I think Dad was born in 1940, so I wonder if he was a pig. Oh, he's a dragon, and that actually I can see with Dad being a dragon and everything because he's a apparently a metal dragon. So Mom and Dad got together as a horse and a dragon. So the horse and the dragon got together back in the '60s and everything.
and she's water, and he's what?
Metal.
Mm. I don't think water and metal mix well. That might have been why they got a divorce.
Could have been. They were together for 20 odd years because I think they got divorced when I was in college. I think they were together for 20 or 21 years, something like that. And I think he's been together with his latest lady for longer. I think they've been together for about 25 years and everything. And I can't
Well,
remember.
sometimes people just change.
Oh,
I was with my ex for 21 years and, we still get along.
yeah.
We still get along. I mean, we're still good friends, but I can't live with him. And we both just kind of, it's interesting. We always said that if we'd met at any other time than when we did, we probably wouldn't be together. And I guess eventually that caught up with us.
Caught up with you and all along those lines, and then you went your separate ways and all in that kind of space. But yeah, that was just interesting because I didn't know about that. But I'm trying to figure out how I feel about being a tiger. But I guess a tiger would be a cool animal to be and everything. And
It's a
you're
good
over there.
tiger. Yeah. I think a
Tigers,
tiger's good.
yeah, being a tiger is good. I like tigers. Tigers are kind of fun. I don't even think I've ever had a pet tiger.
It's a
But
very masculine animal to be. I don't know how I feel about being a monkey. I guess I'm kind of cute and I'm short and I can be funny. So I don't know. Eek,
well, I
eek.
told you one of my favorite books. I told you one of my favorite books as a kid was a monkey book because I told you on one of our past shows that I was a fan of Curious George, and Curious George was a fun monkey, and all along those lines. So
Yes.
that's
And very curious.
and very curious, and used to like to get into all kinds of trouble because he was always curious, wanted to know what his person was doing because I don't think the pets really have owners; they have people and everything. But he wanted to know what his person was up to, whether it
They
was
own us. Seriously. They own us.
they
You know how
own.
many times I get up and open the door for the cats? Oh my God. Yeah. No, they own us.
They own us, and the marketing says that they own us too because now the marketing companies are trying to make it even easier for the cats and everything because I saw that they've got like the self-cleaning litters and all these other things that they're always trying to market, and I'm going like, I wonder how the cat feels about it. I don't know if you've seen it, but there is a hilarious Instagram where the cat finds the like one of those exercise treadmill kind of things, and is trying to decide what to do on it, and then he gets on it and starts going and falling his way on the treadmill. And I've also seen some where the cats are playing instruments and doing other things that us humans do, because cats, like you said, can be naturally curious. So if you're sitting there playing on the piano, then it might decide that it wants to run its paws across the keys and see if it can play a nice note.
One of my cats for, I don't know, it was like 2 or 3 months, she decided, now she had never done it before, but I had a piano in the house and she decided she was playing Kitten on the Keys. It wasn't as pretty as Kitten on the Keys song, but she decided Kitten on the Keys. Unfortunately, she liked to do this at 3 o'clock in the morning. I was not happy. So after she didn't stop, I let it go for a little while and I'm like, okay, she's not stopping. So I put the cover down on the keys. So at least if she needed to play Kitten on the Keys, it didn't wake me up at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, but at least she listens because, like I said earlier, when we were talking and trying to decide what you were going to talk about and everything, I remember you had this moment where you were trying to tell Alexa to be quiet, and Alexa didn't want to be quiet and everything along those lines. Whereas at least if you tell the cat to be quiet or to, calm down, it may listen. It may not. It's a cat.
I was going to say, wait, they don't listen all the time.
But at least it might ponder the idea, whereas Alexa didn't even want to ponder the idea. At least the cat might ponder the idea.
Dogs are like having a 2-year-old all the time. Cats are like having teenagers,
Right.
and it's like, well, I want to stay out late, Mom. Well, you can't get me. I'm faster than you, so you can't get me. And they can get in smaller spaces, So, yeah. So, do you want to see what color this says for you? So, anyway, we were talking about astrology, and I know that the date of the year that you were born is important in astrology. And I've done like human design and all these things, and so I really feel like this is an interesting gimmick. But let's see what it tests out. So, tell me your birthday.
It is 7/1/1962. If you need to know the time, I think I was a morning.
It doesn't do that. It's not that thorough.
Okay, but 7/1/1962.
Okay, July 1st.
Nice.
So All right. So according to this,
Yeah.
this is your color. It's kind of a pink color.
Coral blush. Yes.
Yeah. So is that a color you like?
I did have a pink shirt one time, and I actually kind of semi liked it and everything. But that's one of them colors
It's
that I
not
don't
really a
really.
color I would put with
Yeah,
you.
I won't think I would put that color on me.
All right. So let's see what it says. Soothing, receptive, and nurturing. Well, that I think is true.
Okay.
And it says this color for the month of July is color blush. Gentle and soothing coral blush inspires love and receptivity. You know
Okay.
what? Hang on. Let me get some. I'll be right back.
She's got to go get some reading glasses so she can actually look at the small print and all along those lines. I think that's what she's going to go do. This kind of reminds me of my grandmother. She used to have to get glasses.
I don't have enough light to read it. Sorry. Okay.
That's okay.
Okay. Okay, the color of the month of July is coral blush. Gentle and soothing, coral blush inspires love and receptivity. The moon rules the skies during the month of July, and just as the moon goes through its phases and cycles, so do we. The silver in this color signifies the value of change, reflection, and receptivity, and the pink represents love and tenderness. Together, they make a color that can be used in times of change or transition and is an aid for emotional healing. So years ago, so how do you think that does that work for you?
That works for me. Yes, that's
Okay.
yeah.
So many years ago, I worked in publishing,
Mhm.
and one day, one of the big company meetings, the president of the company was telling us that he was in his early 20s. He wanted to go roam around Europe and, you know, be free, fancy free. And he got a job doing horoscopes.
Wow.
And he told us, he says, I didn't know anything about horoscopes. I didn't know anything about astrology. I didn't even try to learn. I just made stuff up. So if you're reading your horoscope and you're like, this doesn't sound like me, it may not even be written by an astrologist. If you're putting a lot of faith in astrology, you want to make sure it's actually being done by somebody who is an astrologist.
That would make sense.
Okay, so we'll go to me. I'm November 7th.
November 7th.
And here's my color. Let's see. So it's chili pepper red. It is a color in my world. It's a little got too much. I'd like it to have a little bit more orange in it. What it says for me is spiritual healer and knowledgeable. That's very true. If you were born on this day, you can help many people if you keep true to the spiritual part of your nature. It is important for you to stay connected to generous and loving people, as partnerships are an intricate part of your life and happiness. Writing, the study of medicine, and sharing your thoughts with others are all activities that resonate with your innate gifts. Your personal color helps balance your intellect with your emotions. Wearing, meditating, or surrounding yourself with chili pepper reminds you to stay centered as you connect with others and to share your point of view with an open heart. So I think this is pretty true for me.
It sounded true for you. Definitely sounded true for you.
So what I do with color, and we'll try a couple more people, but what I
Okay.
do with color is it has to do with your innate essence.
Uh huh.
And there's four different personality types, and then with each one of those four different personality types, you have your own unique blueprint.
Right.
So for me, it's spring, autumn, summer, fall.
Right.
And just because you were born in the fall doesn't mean you're an autumn.
Right.
And I have a dear friend who's an autumn. She was born in July. I have another friend who's an autumn who was born in March. So it doesn't matter what month you're born in, it matters what your energy is. So I found this interesting. Now, this is why I wanted to see this book, because I have a friend who's born 2 days before me. I'm an autumn.
Mm-hmm.
See all my autumn colors.
Right.
And and she's born 2 days before me. She's a spring. And look at the color they gave her. it's still this red.
It's the red.
It's still this red, and it's a brighter red. If you look at my red, it's more muted. It's more brown in it.
But come back again to the book because I couldn't see the title of the red. Come down.
Chili
Chili pepper
pepper.
red. Chili pepper red. Yes.
Yeah. So hers is Jester red,
Yeah.
which actually is interesting because springs are very fun. And what do you think of a jester? Jester's fun, right?
It's a fun.
And so, but the color, it's not really a color she would wear. Her red would be more like this. This is a Persian red. It's like a candy apple red, is
Yeah,
more her
red.
red. So, all right, you want to try your brother? What's your brother?
He's October 26, 1969.
I don't need the year. It's not that thorough.
Okay, cool.
So
1969.
okay, so this is more a color for my friend actually that was born on the 5th. I can see it's bright, it's fun.
Yep.
Okay, so let's see how this does. Is this a color that you would associate with him?
Barberry. I'm not even sure what barberry looks like.
Well, it's like apple red.
Apple red? Yeah, I can see him wearing apple red. I think his I told you he has a slingshot, and the slingshot I think has some red in it. It might even be that color. I gotta remember it.
What?
A slingshot. My brother has like the Batmobile car. I've talked to you about those before.
Oh, I was picturing a slingshot like this, and I'm like, he has what?
It's a Polaris slingshot. It's a type of car. I like to call it the Batmobile car because it's like one of those 3-wheelers, and it looks like to me, a Batmobile and everything. But like I said, it's one of those sportier kind of cars. I do have a question for you about color because one of our network founders is, and I don't know his birthday or even the year of his birth and everything, but he is moving. So and he was even talking about giving away because he's moving first to a hotel, like a temporary hotel, like a residency inn or something. Then he'll eventually move to Spain and everything. But is color influenced by a move, or do you stay the same color if you're in one part of the world versus another, or did you change color scheme when you move from the East Coast to the West Coast? So is color influenced by movement? I guess is the question I'm asking.
Okay, so when I determine somebody's season, and it's a little bit more than the color me mine. A lot of people did the color me mine. You've got brown hair, you've got brown eyes, you're in autumn. It goes a little deeper than that. It has to do with how you think about the world, how do you work in the world. So that does not change. When I create a palette for somebody, your palette it will change a little bit as you grow into it. If I were to show you my original palette, it's much more muted than what I am now. I've gotten more open, and I think being an entrepreneur, I've had to be more brighter to stand out. And so my colors have gotten brighter as well. And so your colors will change a little bit because of you're changing. So a move like that may create some change but my color that affects your colors. So my colors are still autumn colors. I'm just brighter autumn colors than I used to be.
Gotcha.
Okay. So I can do brighter greens, I can do brighter oranges, I can do brighter golds. So they all got brighter. As if I give in and go gray, then my colors would change. But what happens is often when we're going through a life change, we will crave a color. So I used to teach a class, and one of the things we had a lot of fun doing is they would tell me, "Oh, I suddenly craved green." Okay, and my answer was, "So what just recently changed in your life?" And they'd tell me something, and then I'd ask another question, and they're like, "Jeanette, are you psychic?" And I'm like, No, but I know what it means when you're craving colors.
Right.
And so when you start suddenly craving a color, you need to go with that because it is literally medicine for your soul.
Mm-hmm.
And you can do this every day. Today I woke up and I was like, I want to be fun and feminine and I need lots of color today. Yesterday, I was not. Yesterday, I kind of went inward and I was wearing all brown. I didn't. I needed to pull inward. So I do this naturally. I don't think about it anymore. I just kind of go to my closet and say, what color do I need to be today? And that's after years of tuning in. But it is something that I highly recommend. People do is like, okay, who do you need to be today? Do you need to be fun and vivacious? And okay, so you need to wear your fun colors. Do you want to be seen? What's your power color? The fashion people will tell you red's a power color. Red's not my power color. My power color is green, um, like a forest green or an emerald green. That's my power color. So when I want to really show up in the world, that's the color I wear. If you want to be seen as approachable, you wear your eye color.
Right.
Now, if you look at your eyes, most people say, oh, I have brown eyes, I have blue eyes, I have green eyes. There's really a lot more colors in your eyes. So I don't think I can show you. Let's see. I don't know. Is that working? Can you see?
I can see a little
anyway,
bit of your eyes. I know
anyway,
that.
but
I know.
I've got flecks of green in my eyes. So
Mhm.
I don't need to wear brown to be seen as approachable.
Right.
And so there's brown, there's brown, but there's also green and gold, and there's even some nutmeg in there. So this actually gives me a lot of variety. And most people have several shades in their eyes. And that's a great way to be approachable. I played with this when I was teaching, actually, and I wore a yellow shirt on the first day of class to see what kind of response I got. And then I wore more of a rust shirt on the first day of class. When I wore the yellow shirt, and yellow is more of a friendly, open color, I got much more response from the students than when I wore the orange shirt on the first day of class. So there is a lot of, I've done all kinds of experiments. It's fascinating to me.
No,
But
color sounds very fascinating. But along those lines, I was just wondering your thoughts around this because one of the things that happens in color, and I think I told you this on one of our past shows. I know that there was a time that I was probably, in according to my brother and his friends, addicted to brown because every time they turned around, I think I was wearing a lot of corduroy at the time and a lot of brown kind of things. And now a lot of times I'm wearing blue jeans, so it's probably a lot of blue that I'm wearing on a regular basis. And the shirts change colors, even though quite a few of them are grayish, even though I have some that are different colors and all along those lines. But sometimes, even with the color scheme, which I've never understood, one and maybe, and I'm not trying to make it a R-rated and everything, but one of the things that is more color oriented and that we wear a lot of color is something that nobody sees unless you are being intimate with the person. Because I know that both women and men wear a lot of multiple colors when it comes to their underwear and their other things, but the only person that sees that is the person that they are intimate with. So it seems to me that that's one of the times that we are more colorful in selection, because I can tell you that I probably got multiple colors in that set category of clothing, but right now there's no significant other, so I don't know anybody sees these various colors that I've got.
but you know what? You wear it for yourself.
Right.
It's like, and it's a great way too. So with the theory of what I'm talking about is, let's say you want to, let's say I I had to go give a speech. Somebody asked me to do a speech. She said, "But you have to wear all white." I said, "I'm not wearing all white. I'm sorry, I won't do it. That's not. I'm not gonna. You want me to be seen? You want me to, But she was paying me a little bit, but I was just like, I'm not gonna wear all white. This, you take me for me, or you. I'm not doing it." And she was okay, and I explained to her why, and she was okay. But had I said yes to the all white, Maybe you'll say use all black because it will work better for the story. So, um, but if I wanted to feel like a star inside, then I could wear a green bra and panties and have that color next to me so that I would feel good giving the
Right.
speech, even though I was wearing the colors that she wanted. I could use colors that strengthen me close to me and still
Right.
have that power. So there's ways that you can use that to your advantage. Um,
Yeah. That makes
so
a lot of sense.
if you're and a lot of times when people go through change, they will crave white when life just like totally turns upside down. Sometimes they real crave white because they need that blank slate, and then after a few years they'll add some color. So if you are, there's some people that they really do need white. That's very important for them to have a lot of white around them, and if you're one of those people, then that's what you should have. But people can suddenly have a craving for a color. And if you are craving that color, don't question it. Just work with it. If it's not a color that you would normally wear, use it for undergarments. Use it as a blanket on your couch, but have that color around you because your body's craving it. One of the stories I love to tell, I had it's 5 years after 9/11 happened, and I go into this house and I go into the master bedroom or primary bedroom, and there's a twin size bed in there with mom and dad. So, well, what's going on? Kid's 9 years old, and she's still having nightmares over the twin towers falling.
Right.
And I said, what's going on with that? Did she know anybody in there? And she said, no. I said, show me her room. So we go in her room, and mom had done a cute job. She really had. It was kind of a carousel themed room, and there are these stripes. I'm trying to get the thing like this on the wall. And little girl had dyslexia. So the stripes weren't like this, they were like this to her.
Right.
And they looked just like the towers did right before they fell.
Wow.
So 9/11 didn't end for her. You can imagine she's trying to fall asleep and she looks at the wall and it looks like the towers are going to fall again. And we were all shattered by that.
Mhm.
It was a very dramatic thing to see. So she never got out of that space. And I explained to her mom this. I said, we just got to paint the walls. Furthermore, with dyslexia, yellow helps her to learn. That's why we have yellow pads. You know, write on a yellow pad. You're having trouble learning something, write it on a yellow pad. If you're going to go take a test, you're struggling learning something, wear some yellow. Maybe you don't like yellow, wear some yellow, wear yellow undershirt or, underwear. Having it close to you, it doesn't have to be outside your body. All of these things will help.
Yeah.
So when I explained that to her, she says, I can't get her out of the living room.
Mm.
And there's a lot of yellow in there.
Right.
So this little girl's body knew
Did she crave
what
yellow?
she needed. But because nobody knew this information that I knew, nobody put two and two together and said, what do we do? And I think, how many doctors would she have seen? How many pills would she have been on? Poor thing, she's 9 years old. She would have been, until they decided to change the room, maybe when she was a teenager, or maybe never. And she moved into another place that didn't have stripes, and then she would have had all this go away. And I left that house thinking myself, even, who would have dreamt? This was early on in my career, obviously, but who would have dreamt that the interior designer would solve the health problem? And that was one of the cases or clients that really made me look at how I approach design, because this isn't just about making it pretty. I was in a Facebook group the other day, and this woman painted her son's room. It was fire engine red and black, and it was it was more than fire engine red. It was a deeper red. It was like a blood red. It was really, you know. And I took a look at that room, and she's like, "Oh, my boy's 14. These are his favorite colors," and da 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 da. And I'm just like, it was a lot of red, and it was a lot of black. And I wrote in the notes, I said, if his behavior changes, you need to paint the room again. Because these colors were so intense. And somebody wrote, like he's going to start devil worshiping. And I said nothing about devil worshiping, but it did look very, evil. I mean, what we think about is evil. There wasn't anything evil in it, but it had these colors, right? And I said, no, these are very high energy colors, and too much black can have a very detrimental effect on the body. And I said, if his behavior changes, paint the room instead of taking him to a bunch of doctors that won't be able to figure it out. I had a colleague who had a client who they painted her son's room all black. 16-year-old boy, what's his favorite color? Black. Everything was black. What's his favorite thing to do? He plays video games. He's sitting in his room all day playing video games. His adrenals literally shut down. He would go in the hospital. He'd get better. They'd send him back home. He'd get bad again. Back in the hospital, in and out, in and out. It was, the doctors could not figure out what was wrong at all. And my colleague went in there and she said, we got to paint. There's no, because black is it's not a color, it's the absence of color. Our bodies require color. Our bodies need that communication with color. So very important. And so they put in some blues and some browns, and they still kept some black, but they made it very masculine. But they took away a lot of the black, and he came home and he didn't have any more problems. So the paint color can have a very huge impact. I mean, this literally nearly killed the son. His adrenals were shut down, and the doctors could not figure it out. So it's so important that we as interior designers understand what we're doing. It's not just, oh yeah, I can make a room pretty. This mother was so proud. Oh, I did this wonderful thing for my son. Isn't it awesome? He's so happy. And I'm like, that's awesome. It's great. But he may not be happy in 3 months. So this room behind me, see if I can get out of the way. So I found this fabric and I fell in love with this fabric. And this was an us fabric from my ex and I. He loved birds, and I love kind of English style. And this was very English and had the birds, and he didn't like a lot of stuff going on. And so because it's monochromatic, it worked for him. And there wasn't a huge amount of, the beige is very light on there. It's hard to see it. The fabric around the shades has a little bit of beige in it. It's very pretty. And when we first painted the room, we actually did, it was so pretty, so pretty. It was this Bronco color, which was this gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous brown. And then there was a magenta color that we did a wash over it. And it came out this beautiful red. And it was stunning. I loved it. And it didn't feel too dark in here. It didn't feel too small in here. The reason we changed it is the feng shui lady came in and said, this is going to create high blood pressure, which as soon as she said it, I was like, yeah, duh. And when we painted it at first, he didn't have high blood pressure. But when she came in, he did have high blood pressure. And so this was his, we both shared the office, and he would spend several hours a night in here. And I thought, you know what? I'm not going to do something that's going to hurt him. So I painted the walls this color.
Yeah.
So color has a huge, huge, huge impact on us physically, mentally, emotionally. So if you're craving a color, and because you don't understand this language that I do, go with that craving. It's your body is getting it. Your soul needs that color for whatever reason.
That makes a
So
lot
yes,
of sense.
this move to Spain, he may do his house in a whole other arrangement, and he may use whole different colors because what is creating the move to Spain?
Part of it is frustration with the division and the world around us and everything. So I think that he's wanting to go get a fresh start, him and his wife. And I think that I don't know if the kids are going because the kids are grown now too as well.
They don't have politics in Spain.
Well, I'm sure they do, but apparently safer environment because I know he's been there a couple of times and he's found that it's not been as much crime, and that's one of the things he touts when he talks about Spain. Now, not to say they don't have crime, but apparently it's much lower than what it is in the United States. So he's just thinking that it might be time for a safer move and all along those lines and everything. So I think it's safety as well as a number of other things is what I have heard him reiterate and everything. But I did have a question about color for you really quickly and all along those lines. Because one of the things that I've never understood, and you kind of alluded to it earlier and everything, is those parties that are themed. And yes, it might be, well, I don't think it's strictly in the African American culture because I've seen other organizations, including Spanish and even European societies, do it as well. And I've never quite understood why you would want to be at a party where everybody is of the same color and scheme and everything. Because I know that I've heard for decades about like the all white parties and the all black parties, and I never quite understood that as a party theme, even because I'm going like, is everybody wearing the same white outfit? And it seems like y'all are all kind of like very being having that kind of monotone kind of effect and everything if everybody's wearing the same color. And I know that you get out and everything, so I don't know if you've ever been to one of those type of parties. I think intentionally avoid them because I'm going like I'd like to be at parties where people are expressing their differences, and if everybody's wearing the same color, I don't know how much difference is going to be expressed.
Yeah, we had a black and white dance in college,
Right.
and this is 80s. So yeah, and it was, I mean, it was just something to give it a theme, you
Right.
know. And one of my friends, she's like, I'm not wearing black and white. She went in her closet, she got bright red dress, and the DJ even played for her. He played Lady in Red for her. So, she didn't want to go for it, you know. So I think it's something fun to make people kind of like step out of their comfort zone, maybe. And what do they want? I don't like the family pictures where like everybody wears jeans and a white t-shirt. Or something like that. I mean, there's different, but everybody's wearing the same thing. And I do think that we need to celebrate our essence. What are the colors that are best for you? Like this lady who wanted me to give a speech and we're all white. I'm like, A, I don't have anything white that I can wear. And I'm not going to go out and buy something. She's paying me a couple $100. I'm like, it would cost me more than a couple $100 to go get the outfit she wanted me to wear. And I'm like, I said, I'm not going to feel good doing this. And I don't have anything. And, the cost doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. And, it was a professional place. I couldn't just go to Kohl's and buy something. I had to get something that would have been very professional looking. So it would have been a wash for me. And I'm like, well, that's not going to work. But um, I got sidetracked.
We were talking about like this all white theme, and you're talking about
Oh, so, but we need to, I mean, there's a time and place where, if you go into a store and it's easy to figure out who works there because they're wearing the same shirt. But I think when it comes to personal expression, it's very important that we line up with our own essence and what's the right color. I think, you see a lot of weddings where the bride will say, "Well, pick a dress that you like, but it has to be this color." Maybe she'll pick out the fabric, or they go to the bridesmaid store, and You can pick a color, and then there's like six different ways, six different dresses you can choose. Or maybe you can have one dress with the strapless, one dress with sleeves. You can play it up a little bit depending on each person. And in theory, they'll like the dress better. I was bridesmaid twice, and told both of them, I said, buy what you want. I said, it's not about making me look pretty. It's about this being your day. When I got married, actually, I found a dress that was sort of similar to the one I'm wearing. It color wise, it had flowers and stuff, though. It was very pretty, and it was a little bit off the shoulder. And both of my sisters, they're both small chested. They went, and my mom said they both looked horrible in it. I'm like, okay, well, that's 2 out of 5. And another one of my bridesmaids was very small chested too. I said, well, that's going to be 3 out of 5 look horrible. And she came up with a dress that was pretty and that I liked. And it wasn't the colors I would have liked, but I said, okay, fine. After you've been to so many stores, you just like, whatever. So, it just was like, okay, but you're not going to make everybody happy. My one friend was complaining to me about the dress, and one of the other bridesmaids reactions to it, and I just said, I'll wear whatever you want me to wear. She got married when the A-line dresses were really popular, and I look horrible in an A-line dress. And I said, I'll wear what you want me to wear. It's not my wedding. My wedding, I got to have what I wanted. It's your wedding, you have what you want. you know
Yeah, I just learned something very amazing because I was trying to figure out because I thought it was pink sneakers and everything, and I could be wrong. But Doc Rivers, who is the coach of the Milwaukee Bucks and coached who played at Marquette when I was there and everything, and I remember that when he got married, and I think that they're divorced now to his wife, and they had multiple kids and everything, including some that are playing in the NBA now. At least one of them is. I can't remember the other one is, and the daughter is married to an NBA player. But I want to say that when he got married, all the groomsmen were wearing something that would be kind of opposite of what folks would expect it. Because I know they were all wearing sneakers. And I want to say it was all like pink sneakers. And that's what I was trying to find out online, if it was pink sneakers, because that would be unusual. But I do know that they were all wearing sneakers, which is unusual to be wearing at a wedding. And what caught my eye that I did not known of Doc ever since we were in school together was apparently Doc is a coach, and you would not think that he would have this, but you're surprised by things that you learn. But apparently, Doc has attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, which I would think would not be a good thing to have as a coach, but everything. But maybe he found a way to get around it and all along those lines, because that is something that you think you would need to be in full focus if you're going to be coaching various players and everything. But
Well,
apparently,
I think we all need to learn, how do we work best.
right.
I mean, for me, I don't work best sitting in the same room all day. I go from room to room, and I do some stuff in here, I do some stuff in my living room. I get to go to different people's houses every day. For me, to the thought of sitting me in an office for 40 hours a week, uh, that's painful.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work for me. I need the variety. I need to be able to change my environment on a regular basis for me to feel creative, stimulated, alert. And I don't know if there's ADHD there or not, but that's we all have to find out how do we best do whatever task it is. I do something different when I'm doing bookkeeping, I do something different when I'm writing, I do something different when I'm designing. Each environment helps me to achieve
No, that makes
what
sense.
I'm looking for.
Do you still have the book? Because I wanted to look up May 26, 1940, because that was
Sure.
Mom's birthday. And then I was going to make a quick political statement, but not a real political statement, because I just found out what
You
their
didn't finish your
spokesperson.
brother. Do you want to hear what it says about your brother?
Yes, please. That was Barberry.
Okay. Powerful, sexy, and intense. If you were born in this day, fluent and articulate, you can be a great speaker An advocate for rights. You are not afraid to step up to the plate. Adversity will not calm you or stop you from creating and attaining your desires and aspirations. Resist the urge to allow power to intoxicate you. Use your strength as a tool to get the job done and to spread your words effectively. Wearing, meditating on, or surrounding yourself with Barbary helps integrate your intensity and commitment with clarity and ease. Okay, and what's your mom's date? Oh, I lost you.
Well, no, I'm
Can
still
you
here.
still see me?
I'm still here.
Can you still see me?
Yes, I still see you.
Oh, good, because I don't see you.
I
So
still see you. I still see you totally. But and that actually fit Malik because Malik is a in the
there you
activist
are.
space and he works with youth and all along those lines. So I still so that actually fits him because he does a lot of work in working with quote unquote troubled youth and everything. So that fit him totally. But Mom's birthday is May 26, 1940.
May 26th. I'm thinking this is not her color from what you've talked about, but I'll show it to you. Does that look like your mom?
No, I don't think peach beige is really her color, but she.
Yeah, with the way you've described your mom, I would not see her in peach beige. Okay, let's see what it says though. That's why I don't think this book is. It's a nice gimmick, but I hope nobody really relies on it. Spiritual, generous, and penetrating. You are spiritually driven and relentless in your quest for transformation and enlightenment. You hold yourself to a higher authority. Simple societal laws and rules do not always work for you. You can be generous to a fault because you are deeply aware that we are all connected. Your personal color helps you stay balanced as you move through challenging experiences. Wearing, meditating on, or surrounding yourself with peach beige enables you to carry your message of love and grace to others without draining your own vital energy. This color feels too dull for your what you've described your mom. Your mom seems like a very vital person
She is
and
definitely very vital. She is generous, and sometimes she can be generous to a fault and everything. Because I've even borrowed and gotten money from her. So she does have that generosity thing, and she's kind of the matriarch of the family now and everything. So after some other matriarchs have gone to the ancestral ground, so I could see parts of that. But yeah, I think that she would need a more vibrant color. So I would agree with
yeah,
that.
this is too dull of a color for her.
Yeah.
That's my sense.
No, I would agree with that and everything. Just really quickly, because I know we're going to get to kindred
Yeah.
spices and everything, but apparently, I think that if I read it correctly, the two candidates, Donald Trump is a fire dog, which I have no idea what that would be, but apparently he's a fire dog and everything back to the astrology. And Kamala is a wood dragon. So apparently it's a wood dragon versus a fire dog in the latest race that we have and everything. So that's what the Chinese astrology is saying.
So so fire eats wood.
Hmm.
And what did you say the two animals were? Dragon and dog?
Dog and dragon. Yes.
Well, the dragon's more powerful than the dog.
Yes.
Can you look up what the color of the year is real quick?
The color of the
Pantone
year.
color? The Pantone color of the year?
The,
See, what happened, I look at things differently than the rest of the world, but when we had Trump and Hillary, it was really interesting to me because for the first time, Pantone had two colors. There was a light blue and a light pink. And for the first time, at least in my lifetime, we had a woman and running for president as well as a man. But what's even more intriguing is when you think about Hillary, you think about that baby blue because she always wears that baby blue. Why? Because it matches her eyes. It makes her feel more approachable. She's not.
yeah.
She doesn't have the charisma that her husband does.
No, that would definitely agree with that and
And
everything.
so and then Trump always wears that little pink tie. I don't know, no idea why he does that.
I have no idea
That
either.
boggles my brain. But
Maybe
It,
he knows the
it's
color.
not his color. It's not his color. And I know for a while it was a let's be softer men, be more aware of our feminine side, and so maybe he got into that then. But that's not his pink. And
Well, according to Pantone, the color of the year for 2024 is peach fuzz.
peach fuzz.
Yes.
And can you pull it up? Are you able to, can you show it on the screen?
I can try to pull it up on the screen, or maybe let me pull it up on the screen. I was actually trying to pull it up on the computer and everything.
Oh,
I mean,
it's
on the
okay.
phone. Well, hold a second. I can probably pull up peach fuzz color. It's like a very weird looking color.
Let me pull up a picture of Kamala because I want to see something. I think she's got a lot of orange in her.
Her outfits.
But she wears a lot of blue and violet, so maybe
Yeah,
not.
maybe not. Uh,
Let me see. Let me see what's in her skin tones.
well, she should have interest in skin tones because she's part African American, part Indian, as in from India. So should be various skin tones there and everything.
Hmm.
Peach fuzz.
Yeah, there's a lot of orange in her skin. So, and of course, they call him Orange Man. So that could be interesting.
Could be quite interesting. Uh, because
It's all right. It's
oh,
all right.
I've got it really quickly. But apparently these are kind of that peach fuzz color and everything. So that's kind of peach
Mhm.
fuzz. That's supposed to be.
Well, whatever the situation is, they're optimistic about the ending. How about that?
Yep, they are definitely optimistic about the ending and everything. And we'll
Because
see
that's a
where
very optimistic color, and so they're seeing that. So,
could be. Could be. I'm gonna say I'm trying to get back to where we were at. Now the computer's doing
all
something.
right. Well, it's been another fun show.
It
Thank
has
you
been
for
another.
asking some wonderful questions. And
Always
we'll
glad
go
to
do
ask
some
you.
can do spice. And if you want to know more about your colors, please ask me. You can find me at thecolorwhisperer.com.
Yeah. And now we're gonna go to Kindu Spices, like Jeanette said, and get some of that color from the food and everything. So it's always good to have colorful food, as even Shani said and everything. But we'll be back next week with another great show. And Jeanette's always doing lovely commentary on colors. And I guess I'll go find me some more colorful outfits because I'm tired of wearing the same old bland colors. So we'll go
But
back.
don't you have blue eyes?
I
Don't you
have
have blue eyes?
what people call cat eyes, so they are greenish blue.
Yeah, so you can but I think of you more as a blue person. So
Right. That would make sense.
but you can wear green and you can wear blue then. If you've got greenish blue eyes,
And I
then both colors make you feel more approachable. You don't need to do gray. You can branch out.
Yep, and I like blue shirts, so I like, and I've had some green shirts, so yeah, maybe I'll get some green shirts as well. Definitely, I like that. Cool. Well, we're gonna get ready. Matter of fact, one of my favorite disco shirts was a green shirt. I think I told you about that before. There was a green shirt with like a black leather cut in, but that was way back in the '70s and the '80s and everything when that was a popular kind of style to have that disco look and everything. But on that note, we'll get ready to go check out Ken Do Spice.
We hope. We're experiencing technical difficulties, but we will find them very soon.
You know how
There we
people
go.
love to enjoy food and don't understand how to flavor their food or how to replicate a meal? They're interested in supplements but don't know where to begin? Well, what I do is I take the guesswork out of enjoying flavor and wellness with my flavorful spice blends so that they can create delicious meals with healing benefits. Can Do Spice was created to help cooks at any level enjoy healing through food. Every spice blend was designed to give added health benefits of natural herbs. Every blend is complete. There's no need to add any additional spice for a delicious meal. Saving you time and money while adding supplements to your meals can be both tasty and fun. My earliest memories in the kitchen began with my father, Kenny Can Do Bond, so it was fitting that I would name this line after him. I have always looked to natural remedies to supplement the body, and I found myself hiding herbs and minerals in foods for my family. That's when it hit me. Everyone needs Can Do Spice. Everyone should be having this. is an exclusive brand for cooks at any level who want to create flavorful dishes with healing benefits that can satisfy the body and soul. Add a little spice to your life. Give Can Do Spice a try.